Alright guys, let's get started. Hey! Alright, welcome to Word of the Day Wednesdays. I am Nicole D. Miller, author of Stories for the Urban Soul. Stories for the Urban Soul is a compilation of short stories, novellas, has some poetry sprinkled in there, depicting Black characters dealing with everyday life issues, from parenting to divorce to social injustice issues, and it's like a whole gamut. So it's kind of like a chicken soup for the soul for Black people. Feel good, heartwarming, definitely spiritual and faith-based, so encouraging, uplifting. There's a really fun story at the end of the book, which I hardly ever mention this, you guys, but I actually depict a character named Nikki, and the things that I share in her story are things that actually happened to me around that time period. Thank you guys for joining. So I actually wrote a fictitious story of my own life, which was really fun and creative, to include real life events that happened, but kind of like morph them into some of the things I wanted to happen during that time. And at the end of the book, there's a chapter called Lessons from the Characters. So I kind of break down each story, what went into each story, what I wanted my readers to get out of each story. So you can learn more at NicoleDMiller.com. You can also do a review on Amazon. And if you guys read the book, please do a review. One of the hardest parts about being an independent author is getting reviews. Reviews really help get the word out, especially on Amazon, because they will actually start promoting your books once you have enough reviews. So if you get enough reviews, it could even be an Amazon bestseller. So thank you, Dr. Wade. So anyways, let's get started. So welcome to Word of the Day Wednesdays. If you guys aren't familiar, what I've been doing is I've been piggybacking off of my blog, which is betterthanwine.net. All of my blog posts are available at NicoleDMiller.com. You can just go to my website, go to the blog section, and I've been just expounding on the word that I've shared in my blog. So I release a blog post every Monday morning, and you can subscribe at betterthanwine.net. And the latest blog post was a purpose-driven life. So what I wanted to share, and the reason why I love my blog, is because it gives me an outlet to really be transparent. Like, I think on social media, you just kind of see these snippets, you get these glimpses of people's lives. But with writing and with blogging, you kind of get more details and intimacy. It's more intimate, and I love intimacy. So with my blog, the latest post was a purpose-driven life, clearly a spinoff of the actual book that was out back in the day. And I really wanted to meditate on God's goodness in this last year, because there were so many days, in all transparency, where I really struggled with my purpose. I really struggled with, what am I supposed to be doing? Why am I here? Every day I would wake up. There was no set plan. There was no set schedule. I felt like, yes, I'm doing what God wants me to do, but I'm not sure where this is going, and I'm not sure how to get there. And one of the things that I say in the blog is, have you ever asked God a question He already answered? And I felt like when I was writing, I started seeing, like, in hindsight, wow, this question was already answered. But I didn't like the answer. Like, how many of us ask God a question and we don't like the answer? We don't like the response. Well, that's how I was. So I was like, okay, God, you said entrepreneurship, you said authorship, you said bookkeeping, but it's not going the way I want it to go, or this doesn't make me feel comfortable. I want a set schedule. I want a set plan. I'm going to discard that until I get the answer I want. So finally, what really helped me was meeting like-minded people. Whether it was connecting on social media, whether it was connecting in my own community physically, I started meeting like-minded people who were on a similar path. And it became normal, like this unorthodox path that I felt was so out of the box, so uncomfortable, so weird, and made me feel like, what am I doing? There's no blueprint for this. I started seeing the blueprint. I started meeting these other people who are on the same journey, and that gave me a lot of confidence. So here I am out here with my books, 3 books later. My first book is How to Overcome Heartbreak. Recovering from Misguided Love. Some of you guys know about that one. I share about a relationship that was really serious in college, how it ended, how it like devastated my little heart. But I got through it, and I give people tips and will help me get through it so that they can get through it. And then the sequel was How to Overcome Heartbreak, Stories That Heal. I interview 7 other women and 4 of their men, and I share more from me and my journey in finding romantic love. And then, of course, now there's Stories for the Urban Soul, which is my first fiction project, and it really is me kind of diving into the fiction world. And one of the things I loved about writing this book was that people were able to relate, even if it wasn't like my personal experience of heartbreak. Like in this book, there's so many different experiences. You can relate to anybody in there. And it was an opportunity to infuse Black culture and spirituality. That was huge, because those are my favorite 2 topics. So being able to infuse those 2 topics in a creative space was amazing. Now I'm addicted. I am working on my first novel, and I do have another book project, which will be revealed soon. So stay tuned on my Instagram. So back to a purpose-driven life. One of the blessings that I had, again, was learning people who were on a similar journey. And I know that not everyone is called to entrepreneurship, but everyone is called to purpose. So in this particular blog post, I'm just encouraging you to seek out your purpose. And I went to a vendor's event this weekend. One man who I highly esteem, Elijah Frazier, he shared just about like a guy who, how there are many people who are successful in this world, but they're not walking in purpose. So you can be successful by the culture standard. You can be successful by the world standard, but that doesn't mean that you're purposeful. That doesn't mean you're impacting lives. That doesn't mean you're edifying others. That doesn't mean you're making a difference. And so he was just saying, you can get to the end of your life and look back and find out that the millions you made could have been billions. The lives you touched could have been magnified. And that really stuck with me, and it encouraged me that, yes, I'm walking in purpose. And so my encouragement is for those of you who are kind of struggling with your purpose, if you have these unanswered questions, get in community. Ask the people around you, hey, what is it that you see in me? What are my defining traits? What qualities do you see in me that you think I could capitalize on? And just use that as like a starting point. For me, I literally was working in corporate, you guys. Hi, Seth. I literally was working in corporate. I worked in corporate for like 9 years. And it's so weird because I would look around and my path just never matched up with my peers. Like I was always different, right? So even after college, I didn't get like this bomb job that my peers were getting from this prestigious university. And it was just this humble, slow road. Even after I got my MBA, like doors didn't fly open for accounting. And I just kept trying to fit myself inside this box. I just kept trying to put myself on this normal path. I wanted to be normal, but God was calling me out of that path because there was more for me. And that doesn't say I'm better. That doesn't mean I'm better than anyone else. It's just different. And you have to be in tune with your gifts, your talents, your story. So my encouragement, if you're struggling with that question, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I doing? My question would be, what are you good at? What do you love doing? Like, I always was an avid reader. I loved reading as a kid. Never did I know that being an avid reader would make you a good writer. I always thought I would write a book. Never did I know that I would write it 10 years prior to when I thought I would write it, or that I would actually write a novel one day. Like, that's still been an unfolding journey for me. So the desires of your heart are there for a reason. And if you have the sustainability, like, take a leap of faith. A lot of people don't just step out into entrepreneurship full time. So definitely make a plan, do your side time hustle, build up your community, build up your audience, and do what gives you joy. I think that's one of the keys to purpose. Like, your purpose is not going to be something that you can't stand. It's not going to be something that stresses you out. It's going to be something you love to do. And maybe it'll take some energy, but you'll thrive off of it. And that's what I'm learning. So anyways, that's my tidbit for Word of the Day Wednesdays. Thank you guys for joining. If you missed any of this, it will be up on my YouTube page, Nicole D. Miller. Of course, you can check out more about me at NicoleDMiller.com. Follow me on Instagram at nicole.dmiller. You can also like my page on Facebook, facebook.com/HTOHB, or you can follow me on Twitter at Nicole D. Miller. And of course, purchase my book, Stories for the Urban Soul, and put up an Amazon review. Thanks so much for joining, you guys. I really, really, really appreciate the support. Enjoy the rest of your evening.